the conclusion of day one, upper bracket, 5th match of the day. Top 25 continues day 2. A victory royale grants you a spot in the grand finals. For the players in the lower bracket competing today, top 30 is what they want for day 2 uppers. This is just day 1 of 3 of the semifinals.
And where you're at in the leaderboard means so much where you finish here on the day if you don't capture that victory royale. And you kind of saw the leaderboards holding the line after 4 games. Nebs and I dropped 25th place at about 84 points. And you see them getting aggressive. They're really gonna lay it all on the line here. That's Peak and Vico. One of them's gonna go down. That's Kiddo. His duo ready to take down Vico as well. They have him so hurt. 35 HP. They continue to move forward. Different walls. They get into the box. Down goes Peak. Down goes Vico. They are out of this game, and Kiddo and Kiro go ahead and stand 10 toes down and hold their position.
Right off the bat, instant action. And 2 eliminations for Kiddo Hero. Vico Pink gonna be taken out. I'm actually trying to remember, Jacob, where they were on the leaderboard to see if they're likely to make uppers or lowers, but
12th.
I think they've got it.
44.
It should be able to hold. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But for Rezon and Bag Chaser, it's got to chase more than just the bag. Has to get that VR.
A lot of teams here are put themselves in a win and you're in situation. Leaderboards do no longer stand a chance. As we move on over towards Lavish Layer, 2 of our winners came out from this POI, which opened it wide open for others to begin to slowly but surely move in. I feel like after game 1, you already had, or after game 2, Rezumi and Zoom started to move in. Now Art Skill and Astra's moving in, becoming more and more congested. And might just be a plan for some of these teams. Qualify here, figure out where I'm going to go ahead and drop another time, because it only matters if you make it that far. And you can see him just slowly but surely sneaking by, trying to catch his opponents off guard. Doesn't matter if he's peeking through a window or breaks the wall wide open.
Look, Lavish Lair, there's something about it today that's been causing victory royales. I mean, I don't know what it is, Jacob, but it's got something. And will it bring another VR to one of the duos here? Rezumi, duo partner, up above, farming as they know their opponents down below. Don't know exactly where they are, but they know they're close.
And that's every time I'm playing Lavish Layer myself. It's the building you have to watch out for. Inside of it, there's so many nooks and crannies to hide behind. As you jump on board Vexy and Perhawa, they've been playing phenomenal all day long, just to not have their spot secured just yet. About 214 points, their first place on the leaderboard. Art Skill and Astral finally get into a fight. That's Rezumi. He's going to get dropped down to just a sliver of HP and finally gets gunked on by Art Skill, who ran out of builds. Finally reunites with his teammate, and that's going to be the saving grace as Zoom has the high ground. Great shots yet again, but another team's moving in. No matter who wins this one, it's going to be hard for some of these players to come out on top and gather that medallion as Lens and his duo start to move up. Kefi and his duo start to move up as well. So much damage going through those builds, and another team is out of the lobby. Lavish Layer forcing a lot of action early on.
No time at all to get your heal in. And even the third party might become a fourth party now, as another duo has been brought into the action here. But they're not playing as aggressive as the third party. They're kind of trying to look around, figure out the situation. Is it worth it? Do they have shield? Do we have an advantage? Do we not? The last match causes these decisions to be that much more difficult, because once you're out, that's it for the day.
We saw Marius and his duo slowly but surely move up. This is a huge risk for a lot of these teams currently positioned here, ready to fight and put it all to the test. Even Yanis and Flixie going up against Kiro and Kuduo, who mathematically are in a good spot. Even if they go down here, it's gonna be hard to overthrow them. This puts a lot of pressure on Yanis and Flixie in this fight. Both of these players trading shots back and forth. Nobody wanted to back down just yet. Sometimes when you back down, you begin to look weak and get some of these other players. That's why you can see them continuously trying to fight for that piece control, give them extra peeks. They could try to fire shots on their opponents. You see Yanis just kind of stuck behind His edited wall, Flixie there as well. A lot of this position going into Kiddo and Kiro. But Amada spoke too soon. A massive shot like that would turn the fight on its side, and all advantages go right out the window from offensive to defensive. Flixie just tearing through these builds with the mythic SMG and even forcing his opponents to disengage altogether.
They say, no, we're done. We know we need the VR. Both being in top 10, they've almost secured that top 25 to at least compete again tomorrow in the upbridge if they don't end up getting the VR. So they're like, you know what, it's pointless. We don't want to take the aggression. We don't want these elims. We want to get to the late game. Just like Payson and Benno here. Making use of the launch pads to rotate around the edge of the zone. Already kitted up as they continue to fly through the snowy mountains.
This is where they're going to need a big game. They gave themselves a chance after game 4. Move themselves inside of the top 20. I know top 25 is the threshold we're looking at, but they moved themselves even further in than that, trying to give themselves a comfortable spot on the leaderboard. And you can see nobody's really nearby for them, so it's just about looting up, giving themselves a loadout, all the materials that they need to keep themselves moving in this game.
Inside the vault now, just kind of waiting, see what's happening around. As it looks like the duos are disengaging as well. You can hear the crash pads, hear the mobility coming through. Now opening up the freedom for Sangild and Marius to kind of do as they please. As now they continue rotating and refarming.
Yeah, I think with how long it's been towards Lavish Layer, a lot of players kind of got what they wanted. They've taken all the scraps. I saw at least 6-7 teams go in and out of that POI, so it's almost got to be nothing left as Vortex and Cheatin find themselves in another early game fight against Base and SS Double. And you can see just the different layers of variation coming out from Vortex, and finally sees those third-party shots peek in, and he's assessing how risky this play is before finally disengaging on out. Cheatin taking a little bit too many shots, so he's not feeling comfortable, and that's why Vortex is staggering himself to make sure they have a safe escape out of this fight.
Minis come through. No more left for Vortexers. He's dropped it all for Cheatin. More than just one duo in the area. Makes you have to think twice before acting aggressively. As they've decided not worth it. But once they look back and see that the engagement has started, maybe they'll want a piece of it. But for Vexy, he does not want a piece of anything right now. Crouched up under a ramp. Do they know? Will they find him? No shields to work with.
So Vexy's in a position right now. You got to imagine he's qualified for at least that top 25 to make it into upper bracket 2 tomorrow. But nobody wants to go down. Nobody even really wants to have to go through that, especially realizing and feeling it all here today. You want to win. You want to bypass the rest of the weekend, get some more practice underneath your belt. So you can see them not pushing their limits and testing it just yet. As Sangild and Marius, they already got the loot out of Lavish Layer and spot another player rotating on the outskirts. He's going to be by himself. They spot out one of the only solos this side of the map before he reunites with his team.
Looks like they're going to approach him, actually. As they decided it's worth it. We want to take this engagement, but is that going to be the correct decision? As aggression comes through. No peace yet, but they're continuing to look strong. Some shots back and forth. Only AR, nothing too tragic yet. Does have that mythic frenzy shotgun. If Marius is able to get up and close, get a bit personal with them, it could be what it takes to come out on top.
But for now, you see both of these players, or all the teams, I should say, slow and steady, fighting for that piece control. Kefi and Relvis does try to get on out. Nearby of that team, Venno's gonna actually get knocked down by eye drop. Another one of our teams in the hunt. If they go down now at this stage in the game, I said they were about 20th place to start it off. All they can do is watch and hope that their point threshold stands. As we jump on board Tayson, who's stuck by himself. We'll say it'd be a huge blessing if he already had the reboot card before he disengaged on out. Otherwise, he's just going to be stuck on top of Grand Glacier, watching, waiting for that team to rotate away so that way he can finally get the card.
Rotate continues. You can see eye drop there. And Neb's close by. Hero as well. No shield. They found Tayson. He thought he was sneaky, but not enough. Slipping on the ice is now forced to back up towards the zone. 2 medkits to out heal. I mean, we saw what Malabuka did in the last match, being able to reboot his duo partner. Everything's possible. Tayson just has to make it happen.
I think if anybody can get this reboot back on, it is going to be him, but Kiro and Kuruo still in that same location. Not moving too far raw. Finally, Tayson sees some budging coming out of them. Probably just getting the scraps that were left by not too long ago. We've already seen a couple teams disengage out of this position, and while they're still here, there's another team trying to gatekeep them out on the way towards the zone. So a lot of these players are going to have to watch out, and they have to remember it's not going to be that easy.
Being in 20th as well, just on the borderline of getting pushed out of qualifying range. The upper day 2. Tayson could not afford to get eliminated here. They have to at least scavenge a few more points throughout this match.
This is his chance right here as Kiro just goes, disengages off one position, finds another elimination elsewhere, and that's how you're seeing how active this lobby is. As Sandguild and Marius finally find Vexy, who is trying to hide as a solo. And that's the thing about the crash pad rotates, Takata, is they don't give up any audio or those audio visuals like a lot of players are used to. So it's very, very easy to get caught off guard.
Very easy, but for Tayson, looks like he's also gonna get an easy reboot here. Nobody in the area contesting them. I mean, it's probably because they're deep in zone and now they have a difficult rotate ahead of them, but being the 4th zone, there is a bit of flexibility. Not being too far either. They're going to choose to kind of reloot as much as they can, farm up, and make their way back into the game slowly. Belushi and Steno, they have been the first ones to make it onto Rift Island here. There's quite a few duos in the surrounding area, but so far, none of them contesting them, as they're just kind of waiting to see if someone's going to hit a rift.
And this, we talk about like the different POIs that open up when somebody wins a match. That's a perfect example. Malabuka Mustache, where one of the consistent teams going for the loot on top of Rift Island, they're no longer in the lobby, which means another team can make the risk to go up there and get all that loot like they just did. But continuing to bounce around teams that typically you see at the top of the leaderboard, Cammy and Seti. A little bit of a slow start to the games as history repeats itself once again, but if that continues in the trend, we could see them pull off a big game here, or even the possibility of a VR to qualify to the grand finals.
Seti looks like he's turned into a bush bandit here. His teammate, Cammy, might be in another bush. As he continues to kind of wait it out. 23rd place though, Jacob. Ooh. They need to get points in this match. It's not even just for the VR. It's just to have another shot tomorrow. They cannot afford to get taken out early.
Yep. In the lower bracket, the biggest difference is there's no auto qualification coming out of lower bracket round 1 or round 2 to the grand finals like the upper bracket has. So if teams fall down from the upper bracket round 1 into lower bracket round 2, you lose your chance to get those 5 auto qualification spots, and you got to just have to fight to get back into the upper bracket. In fact, there's teams that are fighting just to keep their FNCS journey alive on the lower bracket side of things, and that's why it's very, very imperative for a lot of these teams that may not necessarily perform well in those open style lobbies to not go down to those lower bracket lobbies.
Taking a look back at Tayson and Benno now. Similar situation as Cammy and Seti. Only difference is had a late reboot and now is forced to kind of be staggered on the edge of the zone and re-loot what they can. Quite a few duos around Reckless with Railways. 28 seconds till 5th zone starts closing. And it looks like they might
in the game.
Yeah, they might be able to make something happen. Could even have had a rift there from Rift Island, possibly. I'm curious to what they were going back for, but Skydo and Shakos right on the edge as well. You can tell the vibe of this match is different than the other ones. The players a little bit more cautious, a little bit more scared almost.
Rightfully so. A lot of them are positioned with a max pool on the outskirts of the map. Shakos and Skydune are going to be one of them, but Flowberry Fizz is going to be the first attempt at moving across the map rather quickly, but without the crash pad, no grapple blade, you make yourself very, very susceptible to become a target. And you can see that's what they have in mind. They know somebody has a little bit of elevation above them, and they're just trying to protect themselves on this rotation, or maybe even recycle something that is going to be left behind. As see Nathan and CZB getting ready for a crash pad play of their own, but instead of letting it go to fruition, they're instantly trying to engage and get some damage on this next rotation. They're only 200 above Storm Surge, so for them, it's about preparing for the future.
A lot of duos in the zone currently, all having to rotate in. Shots being traded. And for the duos that are already based up inside of the zone, they have the freedom to look back, take those shots, get a bit of damage. As 70 players are still up, 36 duos. You can never do too much damage, Jacob.
Nope. You can just over peak. That's like the only thing. Shakos and Skydune still fighting their way in zone. Dharma's on the other side. He becomes most of that focus. Trying to reunite Raxi. Snazy's there by himself, just kind of hunkered down in his position. Really not wanting to give up too much audio and make himself a target. This 50-50 zone has yet to open up, and you see the majority of the players still left alive, either right in the middle of that line of zone or just yet to find their position inside of it.
Carmi Lucia, 281 above. Good mobility. Once again, very good rotate, actually. You can see how little players are on this side of the zone. The hard part is going to be right when they get into zone. There's most likely going to be a few duos based up already, but hopefully, seeing that they're more on the uncongested side, there shouldn't be too much of an issue. They have that flexibility being 200 above, but as you see, it's ticking down quite quickly. And it's not going to be enough for later on. They're going to have to do more damage eventually. But for the time being, for this 6th zone, it should be enough.
Yeah, especially kind of see the feed and actions going on. Steno and Lucy were able to get a full duo out of the lobby. Snazy and Podeside finally able to reunite under the bridge. Another team's going to be positioned not too far off. And you can see as the zone opened up, nobody making the decision to rotate on over to the slower side of the zone, which means we are going to be stacked up here on this side when the zone does close. And for a lot of those teams, you're already positioned above somebody else, as Snazy and Podeside, making a great conscientious decision to give themselves elevation, so when this next one pulls, it'll make using the grapple blade or crash pad that much easier.
Zangy, though, a little bit of a iffy situation, bouncing against the bridge. Lost his duo partner, 107 below, not even in zone yet. 18 HP, 13 HP, 8, 3. The 1v2, I don't know if this is the right play. Zangy gets taken out. Nate Lane, little gift knocked on their door. Present now for the extra loot. Skydune lost his duo partner. Mixin and Ping taking advantage of it. The 2v1, the player advantage, as they can decide to just take the knocked opponent and go with the loot, or continue pushing forwards and maybe get too greedy. But it looks like they don't need to, as Skydune is going to be the one that has to do the damage and is going to end up applying that pressure. But being at the disadvantage, Mixin and Ping will be the ones that come out on top.
Yeah, even though he finally got some safety and separated himself from Pings and Mixin, Storm Surge was just ticking away at that HP and shield, forcing that altercation to go through, and just a little ill-advised. It's been a little bit of a sneaky play, and wow, the wrist to go for the sniper, gets the headshot, connects with it as well. And now they're going to get a chance at all that loot along with Tayson. That was a high risk, but it definitely did come with a high reward as well, as the confidence for Veno and Tayson continues to build.
Is that going to be enough to bring them back into the game? 30 mats on Veno, could have more, but still a lot of opportunity for impacts. 7 zones still, a lot of space to work with. All the duos clustered up on the same side. Tayson, though, in terms of consumables, health and shields, it's not looking too good.
Yeah, it's not the best, but they've already battled adversity in this game, and we've already seen wonders happen with Malabuka and Mustache in game 4 to qualify, so it's not out of this world for them to be able to make something happen. 58 above the damage threshold. Valko and Vortexers not feeling super comfortable when it comes to Storm Surge, but you can see them peeking through the cone, trying to get information about where players are currently positioned at, as Hen gets taken down by Rezon and Bag Chaser, which brings them 220 above the damage threshold, with very little to worry about other than rotation itself.
That's just what they needed. They're looking healthy now. All they have to do is finish off this rotate. Zone has pulled north. All these duos down below the hill are gonna have to find a way up. For Kiduo, though, and Kiro, they're feeling good right now.
Position on the leaderboard. The players they've already taken down in this game alone, not to mention on the day. Vortexers and Boko looking up, trying to get this as an opportunity to get the loot, and they even block a whole nother player off, but they run into a whole nother team, and that's a decision they're going to regret, because they go down and have to watch the rest of this one play out to see if they can hold.
Annihilated. Didn't last even 2 seconds against the duo there, as now you can see everybody making their way up. For Tayson and Veno, you know they want to refresh. Only 11 builds. This could be it. Trying to get the wall. It's mix and ping, though. They're ready for it. Not letting them get a single shot through. Now with only 9 materials, they either have to rotate or find a duo on the rotation. Something to put them back into the match.
Yeah, it's going to be a must. And that's why you see them eyeing the 3-2-1. The timing is there, but not able to get the shots to go through. Means they have to try again. Because the farther they go on this game, they're going to expend the materials, the mats, as they continue to think outside of the box, and this is where they're going to try another attack opportunity from below, and you see them getting ready to ramp up, maybe even a pre-edit opportunity as they have a team in their line of sights.
Just 5 seconds until the zone starts closing. First moving now. Gonna begin to pull, as Veno and Tayson are hunting for their options.
And this is kind of the position you put yourself in when you go down at the very start of the game, and a lot of those teams gatekeep, push you out, make you stagger over and over. Veno trying to line up a cheeky shot, hoping somebody peeks and lines it up right there. 110, helping the Storm Surge, but still not able to get any material or utility to work with. So they're going to have to make this journey on foot without any flow berries, fizz, or grapple blades, as they find another team. That's Steno, that's Lucy on the other side. They're trying to make their way into the box before they disengage altogether. Didn't like that look, especially with Zone pushing them in, really taking away the choices that they once had.
Double pickaxe is coming through, trying to find that sneak attack onto somebody's tarp. This could be it. They're in the tarp, but the wall is closed off. Just 3 seconds left. If Zone pulls back, this duo might go through their tarp once again. And this could be it for Veno and Tayson. Is the zone going to open up that opportunity to get those impacts they need so much? As now they continue to look, they continue to hunt, but who is going to be their prey?
Yes, let's say they're like predators in the jungle right now trying to hunt. First team was able to barely get out alive and disengage out of that position. And they're just forced to recycle a lot of materials, a lot of these boxes as they continue to make their way forward. Eventually, push is going to come to shove, and they're going to have to take somebody down. But on the high ground, Kiro and Kudo going up against Nevs and iDrop for that height. Nobody really challenging it just yet as Tayson and Veno finally make their way through. It's not a ton of mats, but it's definitely something they can work with. And the med kit is going to be huge as well. Veno just getting every single resource, but he finally goes down. The med kit, the materials, everything gone just like that.
Tayson left alone now. 9 builds. Duo partner has been fully eliminated. Taking shots. If he could find a solo here, it could be ideal. If he runs into a duo, though, on the contrary, it's going to make it that much more difficult. 23 players up, 13 duos. As Flixie now. Looks like he's overthrown the high ground, but at what cost? As his duo partner is out of the game. Yanis is gone. 26 HP now on Flixie. He gets taken out as well. Down below, it's Cammy and Seti in the dirt.
And it was iDrop out of nowhere that was able to get that elimination as Cammy had 4 med kits along with Seti. No eliminations. It's just straight victory royale in their mindset as Rezon, Bag Chaser. They have high ground. Marius, Sanguid, they're on that mid layer right below. Everybody getting forced closer and closer together as the zone continues to pull over a lot of these old builds.
3 med kits for Rezon. Cammy and Seti, I believe, had 4, but there's still a long ways to go until that heal off. iDrop Nebs. No med kits for iDrop at least, but Nebs could be the one carrying it as now the drop tries to come through. They want that impact, but they're unable to drop any player. 8 duos up. Cammy has been forced to start his heal off early. The 4 med kits now being used.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the storm that he's taking. He won't be able to outlive storm sickness at this stage if it does come down to a heal off, but he's hoping that he's staggering himself back, gives him a fighting chance to try to sneak up. Nebs is getting dropped down low. He's full weak. He's actually taken out altogether. Cammy trying to go to the front side, but he doesn't have builds. He's not able to get the next med kit. 2 more drop onto the ground. Rezon and Bag Chaser versus Chap and Khan.
3 med kits on Chap. It could be enough, but remember, it's Bag Chaser Rezon actually making the decision to drop down, play extra aggressive, but Rezon gets taken out. It's all up to Khan now, and he gets taken out as well. It's Bag Chaser from above, securing the elimination and his spot in the grand finals.
They have had enough of these heal-off wins. They're looking like the team to beat because they took it by force. Multiple medkits scattered all around them on the low ground, even one in the inventory, but they said, nah, we are going to win, and we're going to show why we are one of the best teams in the game right now.
Said, we don't need to play heal off. We want eliminations. We want to do it by force. You said it yourself, Jacob, and that is exactly what they needed to secure their spot into the grand finals.
And you can see this is the moment right there. By taking down Flixie, they got the med kits, the materials, and the high ground secured. And you can see it. They had no materials, weren't building walls, just cones. They dropped down on one side, even with 6 medkits, Takata. 6 medkits. He had the bravery. He had the courage. He had the guts to go down there and end the game himself.
That might be the biggest flex I've seen in Fortnite. I mean, 6 medkits to annihilate the heal off, and he's like, nah. I'm going to show you why I'm a bag chaser. I'm going to show you why I'm going to get that bag. 6 medkits, goes for the elim, and he gets it too. He gets the VR. That was insane.
Some crazy games to really close out the day. We saw all 5 teams that qualified for the FNCS Grand Finals, but there's still so much more at stakes in terms of those leaderboards. So I'm going to throw it to Frankie, Levin, and Minimeyer to make some sense of all this chaos.